What's up, guys? Welcome to Gamer Nation here on Smosh Games. I'm the good-looking host on this show.
False.
Yeah, it's happening. Anyways, today we're talking about
Do we have a buzzer sound effect?
We're talking about console exclusives. Are they a good idea? Do they help the industry? Are they actually fair for gamers? Personally, it's not something I like because there's games I want to play that I can't play because I only turn on my Xbox. But how about you guys?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and have to agree with you. Like, not everyone wants to own all three systems, but sometimes you want to play games. You know,
Yeah.
I want to play Twisted Metal, and I want to play, Halo. I want to play all those games. So it makes you choose a system when really you don't really want to.
No,
You know what's funny?
We should
though?
have to choose.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is people will complain about like one game being on the Xbox versus the PS3 and vice versa, but no one will ever complain like, man, how come Super Smash is not on Xbox? Like, no one ever complains about that kind of
true.
stuff. Nintendo's kind of separated out. It's like everything else and Nintendo, and then everyone's sort of okay with that. But they get mad about the,
That's
is
almost
weird.
because like that is the oldest branded like console out there. Like Nintendo's always been Nintendo. If Sega had stayed just as strong and had their own systems all the way through and Sonic wasn't jumping all over the place, I think it'd be the same case with that.
Maybe.
But like you can't see Donkey Kong on the Xbox because it feels dirty.
No, here's the thing. I agree that no one ever complains about Nintendo exclusives or like they want Nintendo games on something else. But if it were available for like download
I
from
would
Xbox
love it.
Live, I would download it right
Oh,
away.
instantly.
It wouldn't be like, I don't think I would be feel weird about doing this and be like, oh, this shouldn't be on the Xbox. I'd be like, oh, I could play this on whatever system
I will
want.
say this though. I think, I'm in the same camp. I think that exclusives are annoying because not everyone wants to play every system. And in addition, like even if you don't want to play every system and you own them, you prefer one over the other usually. But it makes sense from a business standpoint because like, if Xbox didn't have exclusives or PS3 didn't have exclusives, like they might sell a lot less consoles. Like especially Nintendo, that like a lot of people will buy
a
Nintendo
great point.
specifically to play this game. And a lot of people will buy PS3s specifically to play. Like,
And with the Wii U coming out, they're now making games that can't be cross-console because of the new asymmetric gaming scheme they have. I mean, you can't have the Nintendo Land games where you've got that the screen controller on Xbox or something. You just can't do it.
See, at least it makes sense to like have an Xbox and a Nintendo Wii U because you know there's going to be at least 20 games that you're going to buy, whereas you really want to play Uncharted and God of War, but is it worth buying a PlayStation 3 just for those two exclusives that you really want to play?
well, it's worth it right now because of the Blu-ray player. That's why most people got a PS3 and it's like, oh,
Well,
and I can play God of War. That's f***ing sweet. So,
I do not have a PlayStation 3 that can do Blu-ray movies. I have a Blu-ray player that coincidentally can play PlayStation 3 games.
You mostly use yours for Blu-ray.
That's it.
yeah.
That's it.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
So, let's kind of take Nintendo out of the equation because they're all dear to our heart and because we grew up with it.
And now they are doing things that can't go cross-platform. So.
Yeah.
But when you look at Xbox and PlayStation, who has the better exclusives?
Well, the better exclusives, I don't think anyone will argue. I think the better exclusives are on the PlayStation.
I will
regardless,
argue.
well, regardless of which system you prefer, like I prefer Xbox in general. But I think I think the exclusives on PS3 are just so much better. You got Uncharted, you got God of War, you got Resistance, you got Killzone. Like all those games are amazing. Like at least 9 out of 10 games. And I don't think you can say the same thing necessarily about like.
That's a lot of games, but I spend more time playing Halo 4 than I do playing any of those games. It's just so addictive. Like, I need to play Halo, I need to play Gears of War, I need those games. So, they might have more games, but as far as quality goes and actual time spent playing exclusives, I gotta go Xbox.
I'm going
I
to
think
side
quality
with...
of. I'll admit, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I think quality of single player.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I will agree with you on this.
Okay.
Yeah, Xbox is
PlayStation,
multiplayer,
better
way
single player exclusive titles. Xbox, better multiplayer exclusive
yeah,
titles.
And see, I'm going to go with Soinky. I think that PlayStation has the better exclusives only because I think it's a supply and demand. Like, I want to play it, but I'm not playing it because it's on PlayStation, so maybe that's why I think it's better. But at the same time, like, if I'm going to play any multiplayer game, I'm going to get it on the Xbox first. So
Yeah, the multiplayer Xbox has sort of the.
even if you have to
market
pay
cornered on
for
that.
it, but at the same time, you get what you pay for, so quit complaining about having to pay for Xbox and not have to pay for PSN.
Yeah, and I think that my
Although I
take,
think you can complain. But anyway, continue.
I think my take on it was a current one too, because in days past, I would like when Twisted Metal 2 was out, I would obviously rather play that than whatever the Xbox
Yeah,
exclusive.
if you look at console exclusives throughout the days, let's go back to like PlayStation and Xbox. Like, Xbox was saved because of its exclusives, with being Halo. And then PlayStation, like, everyone had a PlayStation 2 because that's where all the good games were going.
Fun fact, Halo was originally meant to be an Apple Computer's exclusive game.
That is right.
That got stolen.
Well, how different life could have been.
Gates stole it from Jobs. Yeah.
There you go.
Different world. All right, I think we should move into our next segment. You got some
I
Twitter,
got nothing else to say.
some Twitter comments for us?
Let's go to some tweets from the fans.
Oh.
All right, so first up, we're looking at Phoebe C1. And now this is answering the question, like, should there be console exclusive? Not necessarily are they better, just should there be?
Right.
So first one is, yes, console exclusive games are the only thing currently separating the difference from some consoles. I think the grammar is maybe a little off here.
I don't know if you can
we get
comment
the
on the
point.
grammar.
Yeah.
We get
Don't
the,
be criticizing
It's
other
kind
people's
of to my level
grammar.
of grammar, but she kind of has a good point. Graphics on the PlayStation 3 used to be a lot better than the Xbox.
They're
kind
comparable,
of
yeah,
on par
they're very
now.
similar.
And maybe the only thing that makes the difference for consoles is their games.
But I think she's wrong because it shouldn't be the only thing separating the systems. Like, systems should do what the Wii U is doing and come up with new,
Just completely different.
yeah, new kind of schemes, new controllers, whatever, peripherals, whatever it is, something that distinguishes them
And not
from the other
Kinect
systems.
versus PS Move. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
don't need a controller. Then all of a sudden, hey, don't need a controller here either. No, do something different.
Yeah. The
very
asymmetric
intense.
gaming and the 5-player gaming scheme, completely different from anything we've ever seen. And I
Yeah.
think other consoles need to take note and
I don't know
not
what
copy
it
that,
is.
but do something
Yeah,
different.
and I don't think it needs to be gimmicky either.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, like you said, it could just be like a better control. Like, a lot of people would just, like, literally prefer the PlayStation controller better than the Xbox controller.
I
That's why they
swear, if
play
at
PlayStation.
this E3 they announce the controller for like the PS4 and it's a touchpad, I'm gonna boycott some PlayStation.
Yeah.
Why doesn't like PS3 just be like, all right, we're integrating virtual reality. Like, this is new. It comes
Do
with the
it.
thing. They're like, we bought, the Oculus Rift or whatever, or the Orbis. What was it called?
An
Oculus
Oh,
Rift.
the Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
It's like, we bought that. That's ours now. Virtual reality in the next gen PlayStation. Like,
No,
that
but
would be
then-
awesome.
But then everyone's gonna get stuck inside of Kid Chameleon, and they're gonna have to fight through like so many levels of bad guys to try to get out, and they could get destroyed inside the game. So obviously,
All that just sounds great, actually. Next commenter, we've got MK Hockey Fan 41. Not to
Mortal
be
Kombat
confused-
Hockey Fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
it's
love
pretty
to play
awesome.
that game.
Definitely.
Mortal Kombat Hockey would be great. Do you remember Mutant League Hockey? It was so fun.
Oh, that game was great.
All right.
No, because it wouldn't be fair to gamers waiting for a sequel. Now, the second half of this, not entirely sure what sequel you're waiting for. That's on one console, not another console. But you're right, it is not fair for gamers, especially when how much this stuff is.
Well, I think he's saying that I don't really fully understand. He's saying that exclusives aren't fair.
Yeah, it's not fair for gamers to have exclusives because of waiting for a sequel. Now, I don't understand the waiting for a sequel part, but it is not fair for
Maybe
gamers.
Well, he's saying
if you were playing a game on PlayStation 2
And there
you-
weren't exclusives,
Yeah.
then he'd be like, they could release it for the Xbox.
and then when he could get a new
But
Xbox
I think
or
the
whatever.
idea behind no exclusives is that every game is released on every platform,
Yeah,
which would be good.
but at the same time, like we talked about earlier, like, all right, I put my money into an Xbox, I got all my controllers and whatnot. Cool, I've spent this much money, this is my console. Ooh, I really want to play Uncharted. Here's $300 so I can play this one game. That's not fair.
Yeah.
We agree.
And third and finally, we have LG Extra saying, yes, imagine Halo on PlayStation or Mario on Xbox. It just doesn't feel right. And here's the kicker. Gives consoles personality. That's something we actually didn't touch on.
I think Halo on a PlayStation would be fine. It wouldn't feel wrong at all. I think lots of
I don't care.
first-person shooters are on both, and they feel the same. It's just the controllers.
The controller's different. But
Now-
you could buy a custom controller.
Yeah.
But the whole thing about having, like, it gives the console personality. I
I
think
don't want my
that's something
console to have personality. I'm not hanging out with it. I'm not
Yeah.
going out drinking with my
Yeah.
console on the weekends.
Exactly.
Shut up and play my games.
That's a good
Doesn't
point.
need
I
that.
agree with you on
And
personality.
then that's why the
wise,
PC is great, because you can play pretty
Yeah.
much any game on the PC.
Yeah.
So.
True. Well, anyways, that's from all of you guys here. And that's from all of us here at Smosh Games on that opinion. Maybe we should move on to a segment that you guys actually seem to really enjoy.
PvP.
PvP. Is it time for some PvP? PvP.
All right, guys, so as the clear winner of last week's debate, this guy right here, I'm going to be moderating this one between Lasercorn on my left and Jovenshire on my right. And today the topic is Injustice Gods Among Us. Will it be good? Will it not be good? Etc., etc. I'm going to flip this coin here, see who goes first.
Call it, Joven.
Tails.
It's heads.
Let this choke artist go first.
Ah, this guy's feeling cocky. All right.
All right.
All right.
You got 30 seconds each, and then we'll each have a 15-second rebuttal. Ready, set, go.
All right, see, NetherRealm Studios is on a roll right now. The last Mortal Kombat was probably the best Mortal Kombat in the series and one of the better fighting games that we've seen in a really long while. Now they're taking franchises that we love in the DC universe, giving it a new spin with an amazing story. That's what made the last Mortal Kombat game great, was the story. So we're going to have that story again, same combat system. So everything that
10
happened...
seconds.
Everything that happened to Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, that was horrible. That's not happening this time. We can expect a great fighting game.
All right, coming in with 4 seconds left.
Woo!
Excellent. That's some good arguments there. Some good arguments. And now Lasercorn. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go.
The reason Mortal Kombat was so good was because the story in Mortal Kombat makes sense. I agree, the story in the last Mortal Kombat was excellent, but it makes sense. These are characters that were conceived of to fight in the same universe. They were conceived of to fight in the same universe, and they do. Their powers are on par. Everything about them is balanced. Now, you take a bunch of DC characters and you shove them into a fighting game, and Flash can't take on Superman. He's getting punched into space and stuff. How does he survive that? I'm sitting there, it's pulling me out of the experience. I don't like it. It's not going to be a good game.
All right, interesting. So what I'm getting is Lasercorn's a huge comic book nerd. Excellent. Okay, now we're going back over to Jovenshire. 15 seconds and go.
We can't count out a story yet without knowing exactly what's going to happen. Maybe they will have it make sense in this exact universe of the DC-ness because I guess they're making good guys bad guys, so maybe they can work something into the story where it all, again, just makes sense.
All right, coming in short once again. Weird arguments, bad grammar. Here we go. Back to Lasercorn. 15 seconds. Go.
No, there's no way they can do it. No matter what the scenario is, it's gonna feel forced. It's gonna feel forced and unnatural, and it's just gonna pull me out of the experience, and it wouldn't even be that bad if the things I'm seeing in the trailer weren't so ridiculous, like people getting punched into space and like obviously torn apart and burned on fire and stuff.
All right, well, it sounds like Lasercorn doesn't like cool things in games. I think that's going to be
payback for last week, eh? So he keep twisting my words.
All right, so guys, comment which one you think won, Jovenshire or Lasercorn. You can also tweet them and tell them who you think won, and that's going to do it for Gamer Nation this week, guys. That's going to do it.
Nope, throw the card!
That's
Throw the card!
going to be it for this week. We'll see you next week on Gamer Nation.